Hello everyone, this is Damon with allstarpicks.com, and this is just a short video to discuss how to use and adjust the colors and perspective in the adjustable wrestling mat PSD template. Now what this template is for you to have a wrestling mat that you can use in your own sports poster designs. So it's just a graphic, it's not a complete template. If we look at the image resolution here, this is 6000 by 3400 pixels, so it's very high resolution. And if I zoom in here, you can see, this is a very high resolution texture. Okay, this was created with 3D rendering software, and I do have it in layers, so it's very adjustable. So the first thing to point out is this was rendered with a camera height. I believe it was 3.7 feet I used in this render. But that's easy to change. So if you want this at a lower angle, or even a higher angle for that matter, you just grab your bottom layer here. You could probably actually grab any of the layers, but they're all linked together. So that means they'll all adjust together. So if I hit Control T on Windows or Command T on Mac, it's going to bring up the transform. You could also go Edit Transform in the menu. And on CC 2019, which is backwards from other versions, you're going to have to hit the Shift key in order to be able to distort the aspect ratio. And so if you wanted to make this at a lower angle, as if you were looking up at the athlete, that's all you have to do is just scale it down. And the reason why I rendered it at a higher angle instead of at this lower angle, because if it was rendered at this lower angle and you wanted to scale that up, you would lose resolution. But by scaling down, if you want to, you're not going to lose resolution. So I'm just going to undo that. And then I'll just discuss these layers here. It's actually really easy. And for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. But what we have is a main texture here, and then you've got color adjustments applied as well as lines applied. So the lines are also on their own texture, and this is a duplicate texture of the main texture, but it's just white. But if you wanted to, you could really put your own texture in and just make a white version of it, and you could replace that texture with your own, and you could make your own wrestling mat, because you've got this layer mask here. But for the most part, this texture, it does pretty good. So let's just move on here. And then I didn't put the white lines in this mask. And for the reason being is, when I was looking at reference photos of wrestling mats, I would see two types. I would see just your white lines, and you'd also see wrestling mats that have this red and green lines on the side. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know a whole lot about wrestling, so I don't know what the significance of red and green. I just know that a lot of reference photos had that, so I tried to match that. So it's your decision on which you want to use. Now for the colors, you've got color adjustments for outside of the circle and then for inside of the circle, and those both work exactly the same. There is a hue saturation adjustment, and then there is a brightness and contrast adjustment. Just going to undo that here, and then the same thing, you have the same exact two adjustments for inside the circle. And so that's about it. If you do want this as a solid one color without the two-tone, what you can do is disable. I'm right-clicking and selecting disable on the layer mask. And that way you can control the entire color with just these two adjustments instead of having all four adjustments. You just have the two, the brightness and contrast, and then the color that affects the entire image. Anyway, I'm going to re-enable this. So that is about it. And then the last thing you need to do, of course, once you have this where you want it, is you would flatten this into a single layer, and then you could copy and paste that into your own design and use it however you think it fits best into your design. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested at all in this wrestling mat graphic, please be sure to visit our website. That is allstarpicks.com.